Namaskar. I welcome you all to my YouTube channel, Exploring Truth. My name is Shailen Devnath, and I have been trying to deliver speeches on such topics which may serve academic purpose, interest of students, sometimes covering the syllabus, and in such case, I think at least people involved in the academic fields, educational activities come forward to subscribe and view my channel. I hope the channel may survive, otherwise it will go down. Anyway, I request you that you can remember my name, Shailen Devnath, and I have been interested in topics of history, political science, philosophy, and more in religion. Therefore, these topics in combination covers more or less humanities and social sciences. Therefore, for picking up topic of social sciences or humanities, you can subscribe my channel and may remain interested in my speeches if you like it at all. My speeches lack a fluency because my habit has been little bit slow. On the other, I try not to pick up such words or say such words which may not be understandable, apprehensible, comprehensible to most of the students. Anyway, today's topic is the Bengali Hindu identity question. It is in the form the Bengali Hindus a fading identity. This is of course very much debatable whether the identity of the Bengali Hindus has got any dimension or aspect or not. We know it very well that Bengali culture more or less was Hindu Buddhist religion oriented. In what sense? Because only people having their background in Buddhism, having their background in Hinduism, talk of Indian heritage, Indian culture, Indian civilization. It's a big problem. Unlike the people of Indonesia and Malaysia, the Muslims in Bengal think of their heritage not from ancient India. They don't think the Vedas, the Upanishads, and even the epics were written by their forefathers. Though we know it very well that very few Turkey or Afghan or any Muslim of the Middle East entered Bengal. Nearly say 99% Muslims of Bengal are just converted Muslims either from Buddhism or from Hinduism, but they simply do things in such a way as if they don't have any connection with the past of Bengal, with the past history of Bengal, with the past culture, tradition, and heritage of Bengal. They most often use Arabic words in their speaking and vocabulary, and that try to mean it as if they carry cultural heritage of Saudi Arabia and not of India. Whereas the Muslims of Malaysia and Indonesia haven't forsaken their connection with Buddhist and Hindu Malaysia and Indonesia. They have kept their heritage and even they are very much fond of the Ramayana and Mahabharata. But in Bengal, the Muslims of Bengal, they think as if they are from Saudi Arabia, as if they are the children of Ibrahim. Recently, some Maulavis in Bangladesh are trying to popularize the concept that Sheikh Mujib was not the father of nation. We accept it. Whether they accept Sheikh Mujib as the father of the nation or not, it is up to them. But along with that, they say Jatir Pita Ibrahim means Abraham, Sheikh Mujib Ghorar Dim. Jatir Pita Ibrahim, Sheikh Mujib Ghorar Dim. That is, the father of the nation is Abraham or Ibrahim, and Sheikh Mujib is horse's egg. So in such a way, they think that as if they are from Saudi Arabia, they are carrying the blood of Abraham and his son Ismail. It's really not only laughable, they are making themselves laughing stock to others, not knowing history, not knowing cultural background, or rather knowing all these things, they are ignoring their cultural background, cultural heritage and civilization. So, in such a way, ignoring Indian culture, ignoring Bengali culture, brushing it aside, adopting culture of Saudi Arabia, linking their heritage with Abraham, they cannot say they are the carrier of Bengali culture. That is why they are in fact Muslims first and last. They are not Bengalis. Were they Bengalis, they would have carried Bengali cultural heritage. At least they would have accepted the past of Bengal, the past of India, the cultural tradition and heritage of this country as of their own. So the point is that now it is fact, at the time of the partition of Bengal, nearly 33% people of East Pakistan were Bengali Hindus. Now, in Bangladesh, only 3% are Hindus. Whereas in West Bengal, at the time of partition, Muslims were less, but now they nearly constitute 35% of the total population of West Bengal. The way it is going, in coming 10 to 20 years, they will come to a position that the Chief Minister of West Bengal will be a Muslim on democratic process, because the Muslims, just having seen their number to hold majority, will form a party and through election they will come to power. So this West Bengal also then will become an Islamistan. In case of Assam also the case is not that good. That also they constitute narrowed or even more than 35%. So the whole of Eastern India is gradually going into the grip of Islam and Islam only. That is the reason why some people in Bangladesh think of making a greater Bangladesh, including West Bengal, Assam and the other states, 60 states of Eastern India, that is the Northeast, all this. Now the point is that whether their dream in fact is simply a dream or a real dream to come true in future, or whether the snobbish outlook of the Bengali Hindus in West Bengal that their hold will remain intact and they will rule, it's a big question. I think by this time already the Bengali Hindus have lost. Creation of Bangladesh or previously East Pakistan was a big loss, and now days will come that they will see the dark face of the future. Now the point is that many people ask it, that the center of Islamic power in India was in Delhi. People of Haryana, people of Uttar Pradesh, people of Rajasthan did not become that much Muslim. Say Muslims became, but all the time a minor percentage of people in Haryana, in Uttar Pradesh, in Rajasthan, in Madhya Pradesh became Muslims. But West Bengal, say, is nearly 1,500 miles away from Delhi, or whatever, maybe even 10 kilometers. then the distance is too big. But here in Bengal we find it became Islamized. Why? Then we have to look into the culture of the Bengalis in the past, what the Bengali Hindus at that time did, and what the Buddhists had done. All these things very, very important. We can say the glorious days of Bengali culture was during the days of the Bengal Palos. At that time, this Bengal was the seat of Buddhism in India, and it had so many universities under its control. The bigger part of Bihar was under the control of the Bengal Palos, and there we find there was Nalanda University, Bikramshila University, Udantapur University, and in Bengal itself there was the Sompur or Paharpur University. At Jagaddal, Bikrampur, in all these places there were institutions like, or say, as big as colleges. Not only that, the monks used to stay there for their spiritual and religious studies. Secular education in science and mathematics, even in astrology, prevailed in the syllabi of these universities very well. So, the culture of Bengal was at its acme during the period of the Bengal Palos. Then came the Senos, and the Senos were very much against Buddhism. And what did they do? They not only revived this worship and other things, idolatry of the Hindus, but they also introduced Kulinism. And this Ballal Sen, the second king of the Senos, introduced Kulinism. He even wrote two books, Dan Sagar and Adbhut Sagar, detailing the process and the activities of Kulinism, how it could be executed, how it was in fact a right thing in his eyes, all these things. Many Brahmins helped him. And because of this Kulinism, and also because of some administrative declarations by Ballal Sen, the Buddhists and the Yogis were ousted and they are ostracized. They are deprived of government services. So this happened. And we find after Ballal Sen, there was Lakhan Sen, and during the time, last phase of the rule of Lakhan Sen, there came Ikhtiaruddin Muhammad bin Mukhtiar Khilji, and he occupied nearly gradually Bengal, the seat of Bengal. And the subsequent rulers of his line and the Muslim rulers who followed him occupied nearly the whole of Bengal. So the point is that therefrom started the political activities of the Muslims for the propagation of Islam. And we find very important name, Hasrat Shah Jalal, one who came to Sylhet, and he in fact forcefully converted thousands of Buddhists and Hindus to Islam. Not only he, we find in each and every district, in each and every area, in the name of a Muslim peace, in fact a jihadi entered. Some of the peace are a real peace, and they wanted in fact not the coexistence, but in fact they drew the attention of the Hindus by their magnanimous activities. But many of the peace in fact were fighters in the battlefield as well. That is why they followed the policy of kick and kiss. Kiss those who are ready to get converted, and kick those who are not ready to get converted. So, those who are ready and those who are not ready, between these two groups, they in fact made the decision of treating them separately. Those who adopted Islam or became Islamized, they were kissed, and those who did not respond to it or opposed it or raised resistance, they are kicked out. Kicked out means not kicked and turned into Islam. Anyway, whatever it is, this was in fact the policy. On the other, among the Hindus, we find because of Kulinism, there was inter-caste exclusiveness and torture of the low-caste Hindus by the high-caste Hindus, specifically the Brahmins and the so-called Buddhists and Kayasthas. People belonging to Vaishya group and more to the Shudra groups are despised upon, and they are the persons or people of aversion. They are all the time hated. And in such, on the other, economic exploitation continued. In such a situation, when the Muslim peace at least showed that in the name of Allah there was no difference among human beings in the mosque, in masjid, then thousands of low-caste Hindus turned to Islam and got converted. On the other, culturally and socially, the Hindus proved to be inferior in those days in medieval times to the Muslims. How? In the Hindu society, the caste system was prevalent, it's one thing. Sati, that is burning of the widow of the dead person in the fire of the burning ghat was common. So, because of all these things, in fact, Hinduism appeared to even the Muslims, in fact, an anti-human religion where women were burned. So, this burning of widows, in fact, was the pathetic thing. Many sensible Hindus even could not tolerate it, so turned to Islam. There are so many other causes. Political power is one thing. Socially, Hindus are backward is one thing. Socially, Hindus are disunited and they involved in squabbles among themselves. It was one thing. On the other, idolatry created, in fact, a trouble. They just ignoring the teaching of the Upanishads, where it is clearly stated, no Pashya Brahmano Brahmai Kamavaditiyam. It was not much different from La Allah illallah. That is, there is only one God but Allah. And here it is, no Pashya Brahmano Brahmai Kamavaditiyam. There cannot be any other person to be worshipped except Brahma. So Hinduism, being the first and most important monotheistic religion of the world, it became demonstrative of idolatry because of the Bengali Hindus more and more. Still, we see that the same thing is going on. In the name of Durga Puja, Kali Puja, what is there? That's a collection of huge amount of money, extortion from people, and also nowadays government is donating hugely. And with this money, what are they doing? Simply spending. How? In electricity, in decoration, and ultimately in some sort of worries, drinking. In the night of Kali Puja, drinking. In the night of the last night, Dashami, drinking, Durga Puja. So we find that this Hinduism is now far off the pure teachings of Sanatana. These Bengali Hindus do not read even the Gita. They do not read Upanishad. They do not follow monotheism of the Hindus. Raja Ram Mohan Rai came in the 19th century. He talked of monotheism, of Brahmavada, but the Bengali Hindus rejected it, mainly because of Ramakrishna. Ramakrishna, he just simply came there to Dakshineshwar to manage his family because he had no earning in the village he lived in. His elder brother was there, Ram Kumar. He left the place and he was substituted by this Ramakrishna. Of course, that man came there, he was a priest, he began the worship of goddess Kali in the temple built by Rashmani. That was not a problem. But he was made, in fact, an incarnation of Vishnu. Incarnation of Vishnu. But he was worshipping goddess Kali. Anyway, whatever it is, a man, he in fact reinvigorated this Kali Puja, reinvigorated these idolatry things against which Ram Mohan fought. This Ramakrishna brought back. And his most illustrious disciple or say student, Vivekananda, by dint of his speeches, by dint of his activities in India and round the globe, made Ramakrishna a very big man. And so he was followed. And in association with the Brahmins, this was done more and more vigorously, and idolatry was re-established. Nobody heard about this or wanted to pick lessons or any kind of teachings of Ram Mohan Rai. So Ram Mohan Rai left, in fact, that way no influence on the Bengali Hindus who are imbued rather in idol worships. Now the state is very, very precarious. See the case in Bangladesh, the Hindus now only 3%. In West Bengal, the Bengali Hindus number is very, very less. On the other language, if you say that Bengali language is in fact the center of Bengalism or identity of the Bengalis, then come to this point. To what extent this Bengali language helped the Bengalis to stay together? In 14th August 1947, Pakistan was created, thereby was created East Pakistan. On 15th August, India became independent and West Bengal became a part of India, and there we find the division. The Hindus in West Bengal, they kept the Muslims embracing. They did not go that much. Only few rich families from Calcutta might have gone to East Pakistan. But from East Pakistan, hundreds, thousands and lakhs of people followed the exodus. They came to West Bengal, came to Assam, stayed here and there in different camps. Government did not help them that much because Punjab was also divided. But the people of East Punjab kept Jawaharlal Nehru, the Prime Minister, surrounded for 7 days in his Tinmurti house, demanding that the people, those who have come from West Pakistan to East Pakistan, they also are freedom fighters. You have to compensate. But here we find the Bengalis of West Bengal, the Ghotis and the Chief Minister, Bidhan Chandra Rai, did not do anything to compensate the refugees who came from East Pakistan to West Bengal. On the other, the Hindus used to speak Bengali, the Muslims used to speak Bengali. What emotion is live there in the languages? Both the groups used to speak Bengali. Then the Bengali could not keep them united. The Bengalis did not save the skin of the Bengali Hindus. They died in thousands in different riots. Not only the case of Noakhali, Bhairab. In almost all the districts there took place riots, arson, murder, rape of thousands of women in East Pakistan. And even in Bangladesh that continued. Now, did the language save them? Then some people now here in West Bengal shouting, Bengali language, Bengali language, Bengali language heritage. What heritage do you have, people? Beggars. You are simply beggars. Bengali Hindus, you are beggars. You did not get a place in East Pakistan. You did not get place in Bangladesh. There are now only 3% remaining, and they are being all the time harassed, arrested, put into prison, raped, and they are dishonored everywhere. And in West Bengal, things are gradually turning different way. I only ask the Bengali Muslims, please, at least in West Bengal, you don't follow that policy. Though in the mosque, in every Friday prayer, messages are given in different way to augment the numbers, to increase your numbers. as it is stated in the Quran, marry and multiply, so that my people can dominate and overpower other people in the world. Please, brothers, forget this now. At least try to live side by side. Try to cooperate, try to, in fact, adjust, try to coexist with the Bengali Hindus, because they are not your enemies. In West Bengal, they are not your enemies, they are your friends. Your people are becoming ministers. Your people are, in fact, controlling things. You are getting even reservations because of Buddha Bhattacharya. So, now the point is that where the Bengali Hindus will go. One thing, the religion they are following, it is not Hinduism. Why? Because it is far off the mark of the teachings of the Upanishad and Gita. It is a religion created by themselves. The Durga Puja orgy, Kali Puja orgy. And along with that what? Dancing in the streets, spending huge money, eating too much hilsa fish, and then meat, and the other liquor and wine. So, I request the Bengali Hindus also, if you like to survive, then give up these things. Follow true Hinduism, where there we find that worship of one Brahma is like that. Too much of Kali Puja, too much of Durga Puja, don't do it. Then again, you do not understand the meaning of Durga Puja. You do not understand the meaning of Durga and Kali. The meaning of Durga and Kali is lying in the evolution of the universe. In the process of the evolution, that is expansion of the universe, we find Durga. I am not going to explain this. And in the process of withdrawal of this universe, we find Kali. There is nothing to worship. The meaning of Saraswati is very deep, but that is also not for worship. If we explain the meaning of Saraswati in detail, you will find there are some aspects, there are some ingredients into the statue of and the associate parts of Saraswati that if people follow these symbols, then of course we will be able to learn more and more. So, worship is not with prasadam. Worship is to follow, is to pursue, and this is possible only through deep meditation. I request the Bengali Hindus, please still come back to the fold of Sanatana, the real Hinduism. Otherwise, your religion is no religion. So you cannot stand against the Muslims, the most united people. Mistake was there during the course of the 19th century, Bengal Renaissance, this and that. From Raja Ram Mohan Rai to Vivekananda, there we find in fact disagreements, squabbles among the Hindus. And of course by the time Sati was abolished in 1829 and widow remarriage came into existence in 1856, and some other things happened in the year 1872, that infanticide was abolished. Then this old age marriage for male was abolished. All these things are good things, no doubt. But the point is that in Bengal, in the year 1818, Haji Shariatullah started the Farazi Movement and his son Dudumia carried it on. What did they do? In the name of religion, they united the Muslim peasants against the Hindu Zaminders. I am very much against the exploitation of the Hindu Zaminders. They should not have done it. They have done it. They did it. Now the point is that the Muslims got united under the banner of the Farazi Movement, under the leadership of Shariatullah. And this unity of 19th century, as was created by Shariatullah and his son Dudu Mian. The point went totally against the Hindus. Hindus did not get united. In the name of religion, in the mosque, the Muslims were already united, peacefully united. Then this Farazi movement brought the unity of the Muslim peasants throughout Bengal, and this helped in course of time the formation of the Krishak Praja Party, which was the mainstay of the demand for separate administration of the Muslims. Along with that, parallel way, in collaboration with it, came into existence the Muslim League in the year 1996. So the Krishak Praja Party and Muslim League, in fact, both these were the long-run effect of this Farazi movement in Bengal, and Bengalis could not remain united in any way. Muslims and Hindus divided, and Pakistan was created, and then Bangladesh was created. Now Bangladesh is enemy country of India, an enemy country of West Bengal. On the other, the Muslims in Bangladesh united, and they are in fact decisive in making damage. For whom? For the Hindus. So, Muslims are united, their organization augmented, their place strengthened, the place of the Bengali Hindus gradually reduced. They cannot live in Bangladesh. They cannot live even to some extent in Assam. They are despised in other states of Bengal, in India also, because in most cases nowadays they are laborers. Right from the end of the 19th century, find that the Bengalis who used to go to other states of India, they are the most educated people there. Now, the laborers, they are going, laborers, unemployed people, they are going to different states. And among them, there are so many Bangladeshis in disguise. So the government of India is catching them, pursuing them, even trying level best to return them to Bangladesh. So here are some people, they are raising slogan of Bengal unity. You should be very much careful of yourselves. Has there been any kind of unity in Bengal? In the name of Bengalism, you talk of languages. Could your language, Bengali, save the Bengali Hindus in East Pakistan and Bangladesh? Could not. Your language will not save you even in West Bengal after 20 years, when it will become another Islamistan. That's why I say the Bengali identity means of the Bengali Hindus is fading away, it is withering. So, thank you very much. Subscribe the channel, please, again request.